interesting over here, though. When we look at the setup in metals, this is absolutely massive, guys. This one from High Heat says silver riggers dump 600 million ounces of derivatives to stop a $2 price rise. Okay, this is according, the BICs were, all of this is very interesting to see the different ways that they're manipulating the silver price here. But he's talking about a situation where we had 600 million ounces of derivatives dropped on the market to stop the price rise. He says this was just day one, so possibly over 1 billion ounces of derivative silver dumped to create a $2 price drop. This is how desperate they are. I continue to believe that $24 silver is the linchpin to the derivatives complex. So we've been talking about this. Very interesting, because when this does bust, when this does get reset, when this does move on over to Basel IV compliance, and the new laws that are coming in, the new timeline for Basel is 2% can be held by banks in crypto assets. That's coming live in 2023. We're seeing adjustments now where gold is now a tier 1 asset, and the only other tier 1 assets, according to the Bank of International Settlements, are cash and U.S. Treasuries. And so they've now elevated gold to that level, and then they've moved in the backing requirements on the back of data that we're seeing, which is central banks buying more gold than they have in 55 years, and exchanges and vaults like the London's Metals Exchange hitting record lows that we've never seen in history. So very interesting setup. We can now see, though, right here, 600 million ounces of derivatives to stop a $2 price rise. So just think what's going to happen. And I mentioned this in my recap of the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference about how last year in 2022, there was a 200 million ounce shortage deficit of silver last year. So there was 200 million more ounces in demand than the actual physical supply that could be given out for the market. Okay. Very interesting, but I got a couple more here for you guys. This guy, David Hunter, says, I expect silver to trade at $400 and gold $15,000 to $20,000 by the end of the decade. Massive predictions, and I've been seeing many of these 3-digit for silver predictions. Many people that think that gold could easily break through 3,000. And that was kind of the consensus that I got at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference from all the gold bugs and the metal guys, which they're an interesting group of guys and gals for sure over there in the metals and resources community. But they know how to make money. They know how to preserve wealth, and they're not going to get caught up in the currency crisis that we're seeing. That's for sure. Whether or not silver is going to go to $400, I'm not here to confirm that. I'm not here to put that in the title or thumbnail or clickbait you with that one. But it's interesting to see all of the derivatives, the manipulation, the suppression, the deficit, right? And then the predictions when we do break out of that, where are we going to go? This guy, Don Durrett. Silver will likely go over $100, and it is currently around $22. So there's that. Everyone should have at least 1,000 ounces of. If silver goes to $100, then you will have a 100,000 nest egg. Gold is always a choice, but it's not really an investment. It just holds its value. Yeah, and see, this is why I've been stacking silver, is because I see more upside potential in this metal than I do gold, right? But if you guys need to get precious metals, get in touch with me over at my website. Hit the gold link and we can get you set up if you guys are looking to make a move. I'm not here to be a financial advisor or to make claims that everyone needs to have 1,000 ounces. I've just started accumulating my portfolio into making allocations towards silver. And for me, just having offline assets is the main turn on for me. That's what gets me excited about silver, is if the lights go out, if something happens with the balloon in the air, I have something to barter with. I have food and essentials as well, and I have real world skills, but I do have a monetary metal in silver that I can trade and barter with, And so that's really what gets me excited with silver. But I mean, I'd be lying if I said that $100 silver and $400 silver predictions don't get me excited as well. Obviously, that would be a nice investment, right? But the question is, compared to what? Like, what is, we could trade our ounce of silver for $100 or $400, but what's that going to buy us as far as food and the essentials that we need for everyday life, to pay for energy, to pay for our bills? What world are we entering? And I just believe that it's if we want to be nice, if we want to be modest and conservative, it's a highly inflationary time. And I don't think that anybody's going to debate that. It's just a matter of how bad is the inflation going to get and how quickly are the currencies going to collapse and fail. So that's what we're watching in real time. And, it's anyone's guess, it's anyone's bet. For me, it's just been a fundamental dollar cost average into silver over the last year. And I'm going to continue to do so after I went to the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, got to shake hand and meet some of these big hitters that understand these markets. I'm going to have to make another allocation into silver here shortly. And that's, I'll let you guys know when we do that. But that's just because I started to understand the fundamentals better and the setup and how much these industries are eating up. How much of the supply is getting eaten up by the solar energy in terms of silver, right? It's absolutely massive and it's only growing. And with the Green New Deal, you know me, I like to be woke and I like to do Green New Deals and I like to have fun in that regard. Silver's in a deficit and the supplies are not keeping up. So even though the supply of silver actually did grow last year, we did produce more silver supply last year, it still didn't meet the demand. And that's the point. And then what did we show you guys? You have hundreds of billions of paper, hundreds of billions of, let me pull this up again. 600 million ounces of derivatives paper trading that's keeping the prices suppressed. And then at the conference, Lynette Zhang broke to us that there's about 60,000 obligations for every ounce of gold. That's according to the Bank of International Settlements. So if that doesn't show you how manipulated this thing is, how rigged this thing is, and the main question is who's not going to get their gold, who's not going to get their silver, and so this is very interesting to see. Once again, I don't know, $100 silver, $400 silver, people call out for $1,000 silver. For me, is it a life-changing opportunity? Is it a way to preserve wealth? Yes. Yeah, absolutely 100%. And all the rest is kind of just debating till the sun comes up tomorrow, how big it's going to get after that. But it's going somewhere. So either you're going to get on train, you're going to get on the board, or you're going to miss. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.